Hi there, I'm exploring a beautiful region near Dresden. It's said to be a particularly romantic one, so my green partner and I are seeking out the best spots. I'll discover Moritzburg Castle and its unbelievable scenery from the Baroque era. I'll also visit a must-see for nature and wine lovers alike, the charming Radebeul vineyards. And for romance but with a wild western twist, I'll take a trip to the Karl May Museum. So let's go! I'm half Scottish, half German, so I have a bit of a soft spot for castles. I'm only at the entrance and I already feel like I'm in a fairy tale. The castle, the moat, the whole scenery, it's just amazing. It's not surprising that this spot has been used as a backdrop for many movies, including the much-loved 3 Wishes for Cinderella. The Czech East German production was released in 1973 and remains one of the best-known European film adaptations of the fairy tale to this day. 3 Wishes for Cinderella has been a Christmas tradition for years, and in Germany the film has pretty much attained cult status. And I suppose if I'm being honest, I do feel a little bit like a princess right now. And the fairy tale mood continues. Right by the castle, 3 Wishes for Cinderella is being performed as a musical. Saxony's regional theatre company, which is based in Radebeul, stages the musical as an open-air summer show right outside Moritzburg Castle. The key scene is when the shoe fits Cinderella. Prince and princess have found each other. And after the show, I also get to meet the princess.
Moritzburg Castle is the actual setting from the film. Everyone knows it, and Cinderella.
For some girls, Cinderella is a dream role. Is it for you?
Absolutely. It wasn't until I got the part here that I realized how famous the film is. People watch it 3 or even 10 times at Christmas. I was swept up in the hype.
Do you find it romantic?
Well, sure I do. Also because of how it affects people. We have a really mixed audience here, children and adults. And both kids and grown-ups love it. The adults remember their first love and seeing the film. There was once a marriage proposal here after the performance. It's romantically charged, and that does something to you.
I can imagine. Cinderella's lost shoe is how the prince finally finds her. On the staircase of Moritzburg Castle, there's a small reminder of that scene. In real life, Moritzburg Castle was a hunting lodge and a summer residence for the Prince-Electors of Saxony. In particular, for Augustus the Strong, one of Saxony's most famous rulers. In large part, it was Augustus who was responsible for the construction of the world-famous Baroque centre of Dresden. One of the highlights here in the castle is the Hall of Antlers. Hunting was one of the elector's greatest passions. The hunting grounds lay right behind the castle in a forest. These days, it's a wonderfully romantic place to go for a walk and just relax. And what would romance be without a little bit of music? Well, I came to the right place. I can hear something already. There's music playing here. I'm really excited because I'm about to meet one of the most talented and well-known cellists in the world right here in Moritzburg. Cellist Jan Vogler founded the Moritzburg Festival in 1991 together with musician friends. He has been artistic director of the event since 2001. Moritzburg Festival is one of Europe's best-known chamber music festivals.
The idea is to bring well-known soloists who have forged their careers together with young musicians to show younger musicians that they can make it too. The beauty is that we come to Moritzburg without having pre-rehearsed anything. We just bring the talent of young musicians from the academy as well as stars together, but nobody's played together. Everything we perform in the 13 concerts is created here in Moritzburg.
So why Moritzburg?
Well, just look at the castle. Something like that isn't just a wonderful venue. It's a symbol, a figurehead. That's the role the castle plays. Everyone knows it. That gave Moritzburg Festival a small jumpstart, because people said that in the wonderful castle, there was now also a festival.
Young up-and-coming musicians from all over the world apply for a place in the annual Orchestra Academy.
We all come from different parts of the world. Some people come from the States, some people from Korea, and obviously the mainland Europe. So you can imagine the difficulty trying to come together. We all study different styles, different schools, different countries. There's a lot of compromise because music is about playing together. There shouldn't be any individual playing, So it took a bit of time, but I think it's going to be really good in the concerts and creates a nice intimacy. I think it will come together very well.
Moritzburg has many romantic places. Jan Vogler shows me his favorite one, the lighthouse.
I've walked out here to look at the water when I've been stressed. And then when I went back to rehearsal, I was relaxed. The beauty has a therapeutic effect. If I'm not mistaken, the royal family played with toy boats here. They had replicas of ships made, and they fired little cannons at them. I think they had fun. You can see it's all man-made. None of the lakes are natural. Some were created as early as the 16th century for breeding carp. It's an old man-made landscape, strongly influenced by human development. I find that fascinating.
Festival rehearsals and concerts take place in several locations in Moritzburg. It's a great, cozy family atmosphere. I would love to be able to stay and listen for longer. But it's time for me to head to my next spot, to neighbouring Radebeul, a town with 600 years of wine culture. The journey isn't long, but I still put down the top of my green electric Beetle and enjoy how quietly it drives. Radebeul is sometimes called the Nice of Saxony because of its mild climate. This is part of the Saxon wine route, and on the slopes of the Elbe Valley, you feel its special atmosphere come to life. I mean, wow, the scenery alone here is just stunning. Wine culture has a long tradition here in Radebeul. It's one of the most northern wine growing regions in the world, and right at the heart of it is the Aust winery. Hallo.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Na. Hi. Hello. Hi, wine grower Minnie. It's so lovely here.
Alles wunderbar. Na?
We can actually walk. The garden leads straight into the vineyards. It's not far, and we can take some wine to taste. Shall we go?
Gerne.
Have fun.
Dankeschön. Thank you. Bye, baby.
There are usually roses at each rowhead. They say the fragrance makes its way into the wine.
Perfect.
Out of these, we make Federweise. Do you know it?
Yes, I do. I love it. Winemaker Karl Friedrich Aust is a stonemason by training, but after his father passed away, he took over the vineyard in 1992.
Taste the red ones.
These?
Sauer, macht lustig, aber
A little, but good.
And they ripen. We inherited a historical heritage here. 37 grape varieties grow on this site. The future will be about recognizing the most important ones. Although we sort of know already, the Pinot Noir, the Traminer, which is important to this area, the Pinot Blanc, and the Riesling. When it comes to soil, it's especially interesting to dig a hole, which I've done. I went in with an excavator shovel and looked at the soil buildup. Here we have a type of cyanide rock, deep beneath a thick layer of löss. The interaction between the löss and the cyanide creates a specific minerality, which you notice in the glass. Minerality is especially important for the Riesling.
I'm looking forward to trying.
I guess you can't often try a wine right where it was grown. Here are Riesling grapes, and I've brought us a Riesling.
Very nice.
Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers. Smells great. And it tastes even better out here.
Yes, there's power in the grape.
Just above the Aust winery, I have my next appointment. Tom Kuhn comes from Dresden. He specializes in portrait photography and wants to photograph me in the vineyards. What first brought you to photography?
In 2013, I got my grandma's old camera. It was a Lumix, a small mirrorless camera. I started taking pictures of flowers the way she did, and that's how it started.
Well, maybe we can take some photos together.
Let's do it. The trick is to take pictures people look at for more than 2 seconds while swiping. Millions of photos are uploaded to Instagram each day, so one photo is worth much less. Unless it's really good. That's the challenge.
Bravo.
The vineyards here are just so magical that I just had to come back to visit another one. Only this time I have something particularly special planned. Yoga right in between the vines. I'm intrigued. Yoga with a view of the valley and the Elbe River. What a setting!
Many people long to do things outside in nature, to do something together and carve out beautiful moments for themselves. Katharina had this idea, which we were able to make into a reality here.
It's really a wonderful experience.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Katharina Schuh's idea to have yoga in her vineyard is proving popular. Thank you for letting me join in. Now I have another surprise waiting for me. A sunset dinner. I'm hungry after that yoga.
Since we're barbecuing here in the vineyard, I recommend our rosa choux, or pink choux. It's young and cheerful. That's what we call this range and how we want to be. Plus, it suits us girls.
After a wonderful evening in the Wine Mountains, my schedule today in Radebeul is somewhat different. I'm taking a look at foreign cultures from a German perspective. It's the world of one of the country's most famous writers, Karl May. Here in Radebeul, there is a museum dedicated to him and his fantasy worlds. So let's take a step into the Wild West. Radebeul's Karl May Museum first opened in December 1928. One of the heroes of May's Winnetou novels is Old Shatterhand. The exhibition tour by an almost real Old Shatterhand was an interesting experience. Karl May's adventure books have been translated into 33 languages with a total of around 200 million copies printed. The Villa Old Shatterhand was once the writer's home and still has the original interiors from May's days. What kind of person was Karl May?
Karl May had many sides. He was very curious, above all about foreign cultures and foreign countries, and he was always looking for adventures.
Had he actually been to the places he wrote about?
Partly he pretended to have been there, or at least he passed himself off as Old Shatterhand or Karabim Nemzi, in other words, as characters from his novels. He posed for photographs and had replica weapons made. People believed him, and they thought it was great. His novels came at just the right time, when enthusiasm about Native Americans was exploding in Germany. That happened through the stories of Fenimore Cooper and Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, which was touring Europe at the time. People were fascinated, especially by the Wild West. May's characters Winnetou and Old Shatterhand, who were blood brothers, fit into that excitement perfectly. People were blown away.
And now I'm meeting Kevin Manygoats from the US. He gives workshops here. Get the whole thing in.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
thank you.
I am Navajo, or Dene, as we call ourselves.
And where are your roots exactly then?
My roots or my tribe is in the area in northern Arizona, which also spans a little bit of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado.
And you came then to Germany?
Oh, I came to Germany because of love.
Ah, nice. Kevin Manygoats grew up on a Native American reservation. He studied chemistry in Arizona and has lived in Dresden since 2003. He discovered cultural differences here.
Well, in the U.S., the Native Americans are viewed as like the bad guys and the cowboys are the good guys. Yeah. And whereas in Germany, it's the other way around. The Native Americans are the good guys and the cowboys are the bad guys. So that was a very nice change for me.
Was it really surprising to see something like that then?
Yes, it was. It was.
What's your opinion of Karl May in general?
Karl May had a very good fantasy. Like all the stories he wrote about it were somewhat kind of true in a way. It's kind of funny, like the landscape and how the Indians, how they live with nature and all that.
The Karl May Museum also raises questions regarding cultural appropriation and historical truth.
At one point, talking to kids and teenagers, I decided at the moment to help them and to enlighten them about Native American history and people.
And is that then about explaining about the history there, or to move it away from this romanticization? How do you do that?
Well, I tell them the truth. Yeah, for example, exchange of culture and exchange of food between North Americas and Europe, and how like Native Americans didn't have horses until the Spanish came with horses. So these are little things that people don't know.
Idyllic.
Yes, it is.
Kevin has brought me back to the vineyards of Radebeul, to the VW Castle winery. It's one of his favourite places. And that is very good wine.
Yes, it is.
Do you still feel a strong connection to your roots back home then?
Yeah, of course. That's where my first home is. My new home is naturally in Dresden, and I have my culture and my family back there. So I like to communicate with them every week, and culturally I like to express myself there.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of memories do you have from back home growing up?
Culturally, it is quite different. It's a lot to do with the Navajo culture and clanship and all that belongs to it too. And that is also another part what I miss a little bit, because you can meet anyone and you say your clan, then you can be related to the clan. Yeah.
Okay. So a real sense of belonging.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. But other than that, I mean, things that you miss from back home, those tiny little quirks of German culture that you find difficult to adjust to, or more or less okay?
All the shops are closed on Sundays.
It's always the one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, for the rest of my tour and my next destination, I'm leaving my little green friend behind and instead taking the train. But it's not the kind of train you might expect. The Lösnitz Railway is steeped in tradition. Steam locomotives actually still run here. From Radebeul, we head back to Moritzburg, which will be the last stop on my romantic journey. A shame that it's ending. But I'm very much looking forward to hearing a concert at the Moritzburg Festival, right in the castle grounds. The setting, the light, the calm summer evening, and with music from Franz Schubert, it just doesn't get more romantic than this. The concert's about to start, so I'll say bye for now.